there's a lot of ways to draw mandala grids, but the best way, in my opinion, is to incorporate harmonious geometry into the grid itself. So you can create a mandala that flows and is organically pleasing to the eye. This grid I'm going to show you starts with the seed of life, which is 6 circles drawn around the outside of one. And then we'll move the compass up to the top of the center circle and open it up to the diameter of that circle. And then draw 6 more circles around the center. And this is creating a bunch of spirals, so a lot like flowers and pine cones and other stuff you'll find in nature. The spiral isn't obvious until you take a closer look. Now we'll go back to the top of the first circle we drew and open up the compass to the bottom of the seed of life. And then we'll draw 6 more circles around the center. And this continues the spiral. And then you can use all the points where the circles cross to draw dividing lines. And this way, for me at least, it's just so much more satisfying to draw, and the finished product is more satisfying to look at. It's not so rigid, flows. So once we've finished drawing the grid, we're ready to start drawing some patterns in there. So let me tell you what was going on in my mind while I was drawing this mandala. Like every time I draw a mandala, that's my time for processing things, I guess. Like it's like a meditation, but the goal isn't to clear my mind, it's to, well, there is no goal really, but I just start thinking about stuff. Can't help it, you know. And this time I was thinking about how I want to spend more time drawing and creating because, you know, I've given myself a job. I've got a business now that I have to run, and it takes up a lot of my time. But I recently heard about this thing called the zone of genius. And the zone of genius is basically, it's the intersection of what you love and what you are uniquely skilled at. And if you want to achieve extraordinary results, then you need to spend 90% of your time in the zone of genius. And when you do, you'll feel more fulfilled, and you'll get into a sort of flow in your life. You'll hit that flow state, which is the best place to be. And so I found out about this zone of genius a while ago at the start of the year, and I thought, you know, like I'm going to try and cut out all the tasks that take up a lot of my time that somebody else could be doing, or I could just cut them out completely. And so I did that. But then it's been a few months now, and I'm realizing that I still haven't cut out enough. I'm still not spending 90% of my time either drawing or helping others create their best art. You know, that is what my goal has been. I've realized that that's my calling, that's my zone of genius, you know. And that the zone of genius doesn't actually mean you're a genius in anything. I'm not trying to blow smoke up my own arse. So what I've realized is I need to cut out more stuff. And one of those things is writing. Now, I love writing. I've always loved writing. But this is specifically referring to writing for videos. So you might notice this one is a bit more rambly than usual. And I might kind of go around in circles because that's how my brain works. But normally what I would do is write down. I don't write like a full script, but I'll write everything that I want to talk about in the video and kind of really process my thoughts and organize them in a way that is more concise. But I'm spending too much time doing that. And if the goal is to draw more, and I know that my viewers, I know that you also want to draw more, then why am I wasting time writing so much when I can just say it? And I know it's going to come across more rambly, but you know, I'm still going to write. I'll be writing for my newsletters because I love that, and that is the way that I feel like I have the most connection with the people that are actually watching my stuff. So I'll still be writing for newsletters, but for the videos, not so much. You know, because my YouTube channel started off as a replacement for writing. When I first started making these videos, my channel was like a vlog, and I was just recording my day. It just so happened that the art was like the best performing part of all those videos, and also kind of just what my life was revolving around, you know, because that's what I was always doing. And I feel like I was actually doing it a lot more back then. And so the vlog was a way of replacing my journal, you know, because I've kept a journal since I was 16. I remember I was traveling with my mate, and he was keeping a journal. And I was like, man, that's pretty cool. I should do that. And so I started writing, and I was literally writing every day for probably till I was about 28, so 12 years. And then when I was 28, I went and I did ayahuasca, and that told me what I learned from that experience was that I need to focus on art and focus on making a career from my art, because at the time I was just kind of drifting through life. I was just getting jobs for like 6 months, and then I'd quit, and then I'd go traveling for a bit. But I was always drawing. That was always like a consistent thing in my life. And I was like, now's the time to actually focus on this. And that was when I kind of settled down and stopped traveling. I ended up getting an apprenticeship tattooing, and I stopped writing in my journal then because I wasn't traveling. You know, like journals are just the best when you're traveling. They're pretty dull when you're just not really doing anything. Because my journal was never like, oh, I'm going to write down all my innermost feelings or anything like that. It was always just an account of what I was doing, you know, just telling stories. And then when I kind of settled down, especially because I was in the city, I was in Lima, I didn't have anything really to write about. It was like every day was the same. Just get up, go to work, go home, hang out, you know. There wasn't really that much going on. So anyway, like I say, my brain just goes round and round in circles. But I kind of want this to be more like a podcast rather than a scripted thing, or, you know, because I feel like the way society is going, the way everything is going, is there's less, people are becoming less human on the internet, especially. People are using robots to write their scripts. People are using robots to make their videos for them. People are generating their ideas from robots. Like, the robots are just doing everything on the internet nowadays. And the only real thing that you can count on is like a podcast and people just doing things by hand. And I want to preserve that. It's not like I want to fight progress. They call it progress, but we're going in the wrong direction, I think. But I guess I'll save that for another video. But it's not that I'm against that or I want to fight it or anything. I want to preserve traditional drawing skills. I want to preserve doing things by hand, and I want to preserve human connection, because I think that is the most important thing that is being destroyed right now, especially on the internet. You know, people are neglecting it because of the robots, because the robots can do everything so much quicker and easier and stuff, and people are just taking the convenience to an extreme. And I don't ever want to be guilty of that. I don't want my channel or even my life, to just be too robotic. So anyway, yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for listening. And I'm just going to kind of go back to this rambly style of video. And yeah, hope you don't mind. But, it feels right. It feels right. So, and hopefully this will let me draw more and in turn produce more. So everybody wins. Or maybe you want to hear longer versions of this and talking about different topics and whatever. I don't know. Yeah, just let me know your ideas. All right. Thanks for listening. Ta-ra.